Yeah, well, just like give you like a brief background. Everyone thinks I'm some kind of marketing or branding guy, and I've heard like stories. Always been in marketing for 10 years, and like the truth is, 2.5 years ago, I was probably at the worst point in my life. I was driving a semi. I knew nothing about branding. I knew nothing about marketing. I knew absolutely nothing about real estate, and I knew nothing about business. So if you're like sitting at a point in your career right now where you're thinking you hit a wall, you can't, like 2.5 years ago, I didn't know shit about anything. And now I'm on a call with you guys being called a marketing guru. So like, just it goes to show you have no kind of training, you have no kind of schooling in this field. But that's what I think is so great about real estate. Is like, doesn't matter what background you're from. It doesn't matter if you're the single mom. It doesn't matter if you are an immigrant, you grew up poor, you grew up rich, you have face tattoos, you're man, woman, race. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, what you have going on. The work comes, like, you get out what you put in. So if you're willing to work and do the things that no one else is willing to do, like, you're going to have a career in this. That's what I think the great thing about real estate is. And that's why I like doing these calls, because people think I went to marketing school and stuff. Like, I didn't know anything. Like, I just knew me and how to brand myself and how to lean into me. So brief story, like 2.5 years ago, I was driving a semi. I worked for Pepsi for 13 years, drove a semi. Those were like 14-hour days. It's 120 degrees here. Got to download pallets in the middle of the parking lot, wheel it all in, wheel it all out. It ended up ruining 2 marriages, my time with my kids. I went through 2 divorces, like working, driving a semi, not because we had a bad relationship, because I had a bad relationship with myself. I wasn't happy. I was miserable. I was waking up at 2 in the morning to go work 12 hours, come home, and I'm tired. And I didn't want to play with the kids. I didn't want to go help you cook dinner. And I didn't want to clean. And then my hours changed. Later on down the road, I switched my hours. I had an easier workload, but then the hours were worse. So I was starting work at midnight, getting off at 1 in the afternoon. So I'd sleep an hour before work, an hour after work. And then I go get the kid, like, do all that. And I did that for 2 years, and it took a toll on me. And that ruined the second marriage. And like, we were best friends. And here I am, like, it's like, how long do I want to keep going down this road with like my life just getting ruined, or is just self-destruction at this point? So like, after I lost her, the house, time with the kids, now I'm like, okay, I've always had this idea that I wanted to do real estate. I just never thought I could. So I scared myself off. It was me telling no one, there's no law and there's no rule book that says you can't have tattoos and do real estate. But in my mind there was, because just the perception of what I look like and how to get people to trust me. But I do remember probably like 7 years into driving a semi, I saw a billboard on the side of the road, and it said the tattoo lawyer. And it was a big billboard on the freeway. He had a sleeveless suit on, and he had a big ass gavel, and his name is lawyer now. But seeing that was kind of like my permission that I could have success one day. He's fully tattooed and he's a lawyer. I'm like, wow, this guy's making millions of dollars. It was just that perception, seeing that. So come now, fast forward to 2.5 years ago, I'm like literally on the corner in my room, like sitting down, like crying, like how long am I going to do this for? I was like, I've always had this idea to do real estate. I'm just going to go do it. Like, that guy had success. Why can't I? So that's why I was branding myself the tattooed realtor. I went to school the very next day. So I was working for 2.5 weeks. I didn't go to sleep. I went work school. I did that to finish the 90 hours in 2.5 weeks and the 2 tests. So I got all done. Like, I took the action right away and started branding myself. But yeah, it's kind of like the background of the story. So if you think I had any kind of real estate experience or brand marketing, it wasn't nothing. It was just me being at the worst point in my life, to the point where I hit a wall. And that was December 2019. So I got licensed pretty much January 2020. So I didn't know anything. I had no sphere. I had no social media. Like, I didn't have anything going for me. I was still working 60 hours a week at the other job. So I was trying to do part-time, trying to do real estate and this, and anyone that's in real estate knows you can't do it part-time. So I was working these crazy hours, and finally I had like a news recognition, because one of the top Valley realtors like made fun of me on his Facebook post. And to me, I was like, first thought was, oh, that's awesome, he's giving me clout. And the news ended up doing a story, but it was more like the comments that were underneath what he said. It was just like, he's disgusting, he'll never have a business, I feel sorry for his kids, like all these negative connotations on literally just one picture of me. So that kind of fired me up, and I'll tell you, I'll go back to that moment in a second. But here is January 2020, I'm working, and you realize you can't do it. So I put my 2 weeks in. I had one in escrow somehow, but now comes February 2020, I quit my job, 2 weeks are over, and escrow fell out. So now I'm going into March of 2020 and everyone knows what happened then, COVID hit. So I'm sitting there, March 2020, I have zero business, zero in the pipe. My one escrow fell out, COVID just hit, and my back was against the wall. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, you had all this attention on me saying I'm a tattoo realtor, I'm gonna do this and that. And I had no business, and it's kind of like, it was embarrassing.